I've charged my Tesla at over 100 different locations across the 62,000 miles I've put on my car to date. Here are the 6 most common places and ways I've charged my long-range Model 3 across the Midwest and Southern United States, with details on the charge rate, cost, typical time spent, and the efficiency. Number 1, Superchargers, obviously. Tesla Superchargers have a charge rate between 75 kilowatt hours and 300 kilowatt hours and typically cost between 30 and 48 cents per kilowatt hour. To take my battery from 20% to 80%, approximately 50 kilowatts, cost about $18 or 36 cents a kilowatt. I normally spend about 30 minutes at a charging station, sometimes less, and these stations are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, although they tend to get busy on holiday weekends or normal rush hour times. Unfortunately, I don't know the stats on the efficiencies of these chargers. Number 2, destination chargers, also known as level 2 chargers. These are the chargers you'll see at hotels or even workplaces. These have a charge rate between 3 and 19 kilowatt hours. They're typically included with the cost of your stay, so they're free. Sometimes the hotel will have a paid station, and I've seen them run as high as 40 cents a kilowatt hour. If there is a cost for the charger, it generally runs me about $11.50 or 23 cents a kilowatt hour. Again, this is for the 50 kilowatts to take my battery from 20% to 80%. Typical charge time is about 7.5 hours, and these are available around the clock. Some hotels may only have a few, and the availability will depend on how many other people with EVs are staying there. The efficiency for most level 2 chargers is about 90+%. Number 3, other level 2 chargers. Just like the destination chargers, these charge your car at a rate of 3 to 19 kilowatt hours. They can cost as much as 40 cents per kilowatt hour, and if there is a cost, I spend about $11.50 for 50 kilowatts. Again, these are also available around the clock, but availability isn't always known. Efficiency on these level 2 chargers is also 90+%. Number 4, a 220/240 volt home charger. When I had my house, this was and still is the easiest way to charge. I had the Tesla home charger in my garage and had it on a 60 amp circuit. In case you're interested in installing your own, I have a video that shows you how to do that step by step. I'll put a link up here in the top right hand corner of the screen. The charge rate of a 220 to 240 volt home charger is from 4.4 kilowatts to 11.5 kilowatts. Cost per kilowatt hour depends on your location. And in southern Indiana, I was paying around 13 or 14 cents a kilowatt. This made a 50 kilowatt charge about $7. With my setup that was running on a continuous 48 amps on a 60 amp circuit, I could go from 20% to 80% in about 4 to 5 hours. Efficiency was 90% plus here. Number 5, mobile home charger. No, not a mobile home charger, but a mobile home charger. This is the absolute slowest way to charge, but I've used it several times. Earlier this year, I left my car with my parents as they took me to the airport for a trip out west where I was gone for the entire week. I connected my car to the standard 15 amp wall outlet on the porch and let it charge while I was gone. The charge rate is up to 1.8 kilowatt hours and again varies depending on your location. For 50 kilowatts, it cost me about $8. The difference in price for the 220/240 volt home charger is in the efficiency. The mobile charger runs on 120 volts and is horribly inefficient at around 70%. It takes around 2 to 3 days to go from 20% to 80% with my car. Number 6, and newest to this list, a CCS Supercharger. In late February 2023, Tesla released a CCS adapter that can be used with some Teslas so that you can charge on a CCS style charger. I paid the $175 for the adapter, and luckily my car did not require any retrofitting. CCS Superchargers charge at a rate between 75 to 300 kilowatt hours, and the cost ranges from 36 cents to 48 cents per kilowatt hour. For me, the typical cost to charge 50 kilowatts is about $22. I'm using Electrify America's cost structure here, where they require a $4 monthly membership to get a rate of 36 cents per kilowatt hour. Charge time is about 30 minutes, and these chargers are available 24/7. Again, they get busy on holiday weekends or at normal rush hour times. Unfortunately, I don't know the efficiency of these either. The key takeaway from this video is that you have options for charging. Here are a few apps I highly recommend downloading if you have an EV or are considering purchasing one. Number 1, ChargePoint. They have stations all across the United States and are by far the most frequently used paid level 2 charger station that I charge at. Sure enough, what can go wrong will go wrong, and unfortunately my microphone died while I was out there filming. So let's finish this list up. The second app I recommend is the PlugShare app. This is an app that will show you all of the available chargers in your area regardless of the network that they're on, if they're on a network at all. For example, when I use the PlugShare app, it'll show me the Tesla Superchargers, it will show me the ChargePoint chargers, it'll show me all of the other miscellaneous chargers at hotels and parking garages, on city streets, and anywhere else. PlugShare has a fairly large user base, and the chargers are updated semi-frequently. So there's usually some comments around the chargers you might be unfamiliar with to figure out if they're working, how much they actually cost, what their availability is, all that sort of thing. Number 3 is Electrify America. As I mentioned, they have a monthly membership fee of $4, which gives you access to the lower charge rate of 36 cents per kilowatt hour versus the 48 cents per kilowatt hour if you're using their chargers as a guest. If you have a CHAdeMO or CCS plug style, I highly recommend using this as your primary means of supercharging if your car doesn't already offer you some kind of guided GPS towards other superchargers. At least here in the Midwest, I see most of the Electrify America chargers at a Walmart. And lastly, number 4 and number 5, EV Connect and Blink. These are similar to ChargePoint in that they have their own dedicated network, and while I don't believe they have as large of a network as ChargePoint does, at least as of posting this video, I have run into them enough during my travels that I find it worthwhile keeping their apps on my phone and keeping $15, $20 loaded into the account, just in case the hotel I'm staying at or wherever I might be parked has one of those chargers available. And as a final note for all of these apps, whatever you choose to download, whether it's these or others, I would 100% recommend throwing $15 to $20 into the account. That way, whenever you get to an area that has those chargers, you can just go ahead and plug right in, turn it on your phone, whatever you need to do. You're not struggling with making sure you get a payment card loaded and then getting the transaction to go through. All of those other little roadblocks that make it more difficult to just plug in and start charging. Anyways, thanks for watching, and until next time, I will see you later.